I suggest that our executive curriculum director focus on USD 497 improvement instead of his campaign for county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. The remainder of those who signed up for public comment have signed up to speak on items that are being discussed later in the agenda, so we will have those public comments as we move.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, your comment form said you wanted to speak about the SRO proposal, and we get to that later in the meeting, so
okay. I think my public comment tonight, I also put on there I wanted to speak about constitutional law. Go ahead and start the timer if you would.
I would ask then if you would please only.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're filtering out a public comment. I signed up to do public comment.
We have public comment. Our rules are that if you are speaking about an item that is on the agenda, we take that public comment after the board has heard the agenda item. We have a report this evening on our SRO program, and your form says.
And I wrote on there on that form and constitutional law.
Okay, so I'm going to ask.
So if you're wanting me, if you're going to preclude my public comment, then I'm going to need to be escorted out of here under threat of arrest.
I'm not precluding your public comment. I am asking you if you would like to speak on constitutional law generally. You may do that during the public comment session. If you have comments specific to the SRO program, you need to save those comments, and I can call you up for those comments after we have had that agenda item on our agenda. Because that's what our procedures are. If you're here to speak on an agenda item and something we're talking about in the meeting, it happens after that agenda item takes place. If you would like to speak on something that's not on our agenda, you may do so now. And I'm happy to provide you an opportunity at both times this evening, but we are going to observe those procedures.
I would hope that you would work a little less to filter out public comment, and I'm going to go ahead and proceed now. Would you like to start the timer?
Michael, I will stop you if you start talking about the agenda item.
You know what?
I'll ask you to give your comments at the appropriate time during the meeting.
I have been nothing but respectful with you in email and in straight up communications. What you're doing right now is doing nothing but taking up time.
You may follow the rules that we have set out for public comment in our meeting, or you will be asked to please sit down. So you can proceed if you are going to give your comment on constitutional law issues, and we will have this.
So does each person that comes up here have to qualify that they're going to follow the rules before they're allowed to speak? Do you require us to sign off on something that states that?
We have rules in place that are provided in advance, both publicly. We talk about them at the beginning of each of our meetings. They've been made very clear. The preface that was read by my fellow board member talking about how we take public comment on items that are on the agenda after the board has heard the item and had an opportunity for discussion.
Right.
That is the rule that I am enforcing in this circumstance. Your form said you would like to speak about the SROs, and that is on our agenda later this evening. And I'm asking you to please follow that rule.
And I put on that form and constitutional law.
And I have now explained that you may give your public comment about the constitutional law issues. If they are not related to the SRO program, you may talk about that in public comment now, and you may have your 3 minutes, and then I will call you up again for the SRO comment once we have had that agenda item.
I think I'm going to go ahead and change it from constitutional law to open records act or open meeting activity. When we come in here and we're coming up to do public comment, you're more inclined to go ahead and shut me down because you think you know what I'm going to say. And you've done this each week that I've come in here. You've preempted me and tried to shut me down because you thought you knew what I was going to say. That is a problem. I'm a citizen. I'm allowed to come in here and speak. And the fact that you're trying to shut me down before I've even spoken a word, I don't even know what to say about that. Is it some kind of inherent bias that you have against people that believe in the Constitution? I don't get that. I wanted to come in here and make the board aware that there are police officers on the street that do not understand constitutional law. I have a police officer recorded saying that it is perfectly legal for a private business to throw people out based on race and sexual identity. That's what I wanted to come in here and make you aware of. Because if you're going to have police officers in school, you need to be aware of these things. That's constitutional law. and it's being ignored. The police department, if it doesn't exist in their policy, it doesn't exist on the street. You should be aware of that. And I would appreciate it if when I'm coming up here, you wouldn't preempt me.
Thank you, Michael. Would you like for me to add you to the public comment after the SRO report is finished?
I didn't realize that I needed to be added to multiple public comments.
It's one of the reasons why I asked the board clerk for clarification.
So how many forms do I need to fill out to speak at each of the ones
You don't need
tonight?
to fill out another form. I'm asking if you would like for me to call you up again to speak specifically to the SRO program.
Yes, I would, and then I would also like to be added to the budget discussion and the revenue neutral discussion, and I might add a couple more.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.